The voodoo religion has been around for centuries and comes with a long history that has helped it evolve into what it is still practiced today. This religion is practiced in the regions of Africa and also in the Caribbean on the island of Haiti. It is adapted to the changing sociological conditions of the people and borrowed features from its new influences and original origins. The origins of voodoo stem from Africa and the different influences along the West Congo coast. This is where the Spanish and Portuguese took majority of the slaves and brought them to the Caribbean and South America to be slaves. The multiplicity of influences from the regions of Africa had crafted the Haitian voodoo religion. The religion is also considered to be primal because of these origins, with the animistic qualities that stem from the Bantu and Dahomey influences. The French, who were one of the first to colonize the island of Haiti in the early 17th and 18th centuries, they were also the first to take a census of the island's populations and had a mission to Christianize the slaves. The revolution took place in 1791, and finally gaining independence from the French in 1804. Voodoo has been oppressed by its own government because of the adoption of Christianity in Haiti till about the 1940s, where it was no longer illegal to practice voodoo. Voodoo was a unifying factor for the enslaved with the struggles for liberation, and without it there wouldn't have been such independence. The syncretism between voodoo and Catholicism can be found in the depictions of saints, the prayers used in rituals, symbols such as the cross, the baptismal practices, the use of holy water, and the similarities of the liturgical calendar. There was a lack of organization within the church and the colonists, allowing the slaves to alter and practice their own religion. The Loa are referred to as the gods, spirits, or in animistic terms, laws of creation. There are hundreds of Loas in the pantheon of the voodoo religion. The spirits' purpose is to love us, protect us, and guard us. They have certain days dedicated to them, colors, and can even instill punishments on people. Leaves are secret designs that are drawn on everything for the Loas. Legba is known as a key of the spiritual world and guardian of the gates, also the master of the crossroads. He can be considered the male prototype who presides over the rites and could also be viewed similar to Christ. Legba is symbolic of the sun or the god of creation, and is also represented inside the temples as the center post or the axis of rites. Esruli is considered the virgin, or the Aphrodite of the voodoo pantheon. She is generally depicted as a beautiful mulatto and belongs to the family of the sea spirits, like most of the female Loa. Lasseren is associated with seduction and wealth, but can be animated in the spirits of tropical storms. The serpent god is known as Dambala Uedo and his wife Ada Uedo. Their resting places are in trees and are considered to be aquatic deities. White is his symbolic color, and specific food items that are offered to him are a single raw egg, which contains life. It can be said that Dambala lives behind the Catholic Saint Patrick, who had casted the snakes out of Ireland. Bawan Samedi is the head of the Jidi, the spirits of death. He is the divine pivot between the living and the dead, and the symbols used for him are the skull and crossbones, graves, shovels, and his offerings are put in cemeteries where he resides. The Hunan and Mambo are considered to be priests and priestesses who communicate with the Loa. They are central figures in the community and have exhibited forms of maturity in long-term practice, and they are expected to be capable of resolving complex spiritual, social, psychological, and physical problems. The priest is responsible for the community and serving the Loas. A sacred place, a temple of voodoo, is called the Unfo, which are used for ceremonies and rites, also serving a socio-economic and productive unit where the youth learn to serve the spirits. Voodoo is an oral tradition that is passed on through the practice in generations. A designated sacred space in the home or a more separate in the Unfo are the altar rooms. They are designated to serve the spirits, where the food offerings, symbolic goods, candles, flags, and images of the spirits are all arranged in certain levels to serve the Loas. They have been described as a refuge for hope, optimism, and healing, or cosmic cockpits. The Poteau Matan is the center post in the Unfo, from the floor representing the center of hell to the ceiling, the center of the sky. It is a pathway for the Loa to travel from the spirit world to the earth world. The peristyle is a separate room or space specific for dancing, and it belongs to the community, which means anyone is welcome to use the available space when necessary for personal use. The sound of beating drums symbolizes voodoo and its ceremonies. The drummers are considered to be masters of rhythm, and the drum itself is considered to be a sacred object with rights upon creation. The asan is a calabash rattle with a bell attached. The rattle is filled with stones and snake vertebra for ritual power. Voodoo is also known as a danced religion, and dance is an act that emanates power. Possessions can be linked with dancing, and how it is described is a Loa moving into the head of an individual, having driven out the good big angel. Possession can last a couple hours or days. The possessed individual is protected, ultimately from themselves because of the surrounding crowd. Along with the food offerings to the Loas, there are blood offerings and sacrifices of animals. It is believed that they give strength to the Loas. Specific veves are drawn on the sacrificial offerings. Blood sacrifice is also the climax of the Catholic and pagan rites that have a purpose of service. Zombies are the living dead or bodies without souls. Anthropologist Zora Neale Hurston was the first to document and witness a zombie, from burial to reemergence into society. The slaves are awakened as beasts of burden, almost something similar to being a slave. With the history of the religious oppression that was experienced since the French colonization, plenty of anti-voodoo decrees and ordinances have emerged since then. Most recently, a critic had stated the practice of voodoo is progress resistant on the development of the country. The French language that is used in schools could be considered progress resistant to the people who speak Creole. There have been many distorted representations of voodoo through the media, with political figures using the terms as voodoo economics in the 1980s regarding the superstition and deception that should be taken in regards to the government and its policies. The most recent supernatural force that affected the island of Haiti and its people was the earthquake in 2010. The earthquake had one of the most devastating outcomes, which brought cholera to the island, causing for some angry Haitians to use voodoo as a scapegoat for the natural disaster. The island of Haiti and the voodooists are restoring their home and continuing their everyday life and sacred rites that bring together a community, just like any other religion.